All right, we're live.
Welcome to another edition of Off the Deep End. I'm your host, Emmy, and I'm having another evening with Ivan Teller, who is an extraordinary channeler. He's channeled everything from God, Walt Disney, a bunch of cool aliens, and tonight we might have him channel Fidel Castro. And I'm very excited about that and whatever else is going on. Welcome, Ivan.
Well, greetings. Yeah.
Greetings.
As we were talking, I felt Fidel's vibration or some slap cold. Anyway, I feel the angels around him. It might get a little bit dark when he comes through, but only because he's letting go some stuff. So anyway, it should be interesting. I think like 30 minutes would be good for this. I'm not sure how much I can handle. Or channel something
Positive.
Yeah. I don't know who that would be, but anyway, we'll figure it out.
The Easter Bunny.
We'll open up the Rolodex of happiness.
Yeah. So we can end on a good note.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel a lot of his rage and betrayal. Yep. That's okay. I mean, some people want to hear from him, so might as well.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what he has to say, because I know that there are others who have brought him through, but the interviewers ask them very pointed questions, you know, and so I really just want to hear like his side of the story.
Okay, sounds. Anyway.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna send you energy so you can feel better.
This thing's not going away. Oh yeah, I never mentioned this live. I got kind of an impression of a couple of things came through. So we're all crazy here. What I got is for the cold is like I was talking to reptilians and other beings, whatever it was, and the reptilian, I believe it was a reptilian that tagged me with something as I was coming back into this, you know, the Earth merry-go-round. So I've been sick ever since for over a month now, and I'm not sure if acupuncture can get rid of this. I don't know what. Anyway, it feels like my head's in a fishbowl. Now, when I wear these, I don't feel so sick. But when I take these off, I feel like I got something stuck in my, you got water in your ears type of thing.
Hey, now we were talking about the energy healing earlier. Yeah. Perhaps you should contact that lady who practices the pure bioenergy healing. She's in your neighborhood.
Oh, the one that charges $600? Yeah, I'll give her a ring.
No, I don't think. No, she's not the instructor. She's somebody who practices it.
Oh,
so it
okay.
I think she'll be happy if you pay her at all, because there's people who just don't like to pay. I think that's her kind of thing. I guess that's why she does it part-time aside from her government work.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. And well, actually, we're on this Florida. The lady that taught John Edward, I forgot her name. She's in Sarasota.
Oh, and who's John Edward?
Are you know John Edward?
He's
a medium.
Presidential.
No, he's a medium.
Oh, okay.
Everybody always does that, yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google him.
No, I'll make it easy for you. Everybody does that. He even jokes about it. Oh man, no, because I put Edwards when I did the search. No, this is this guy.
Let's see.
Crossing over.
Oh, he looks familiar.
Yeah, he does. He's a medium.
Mm-hmm.
He's very freaking great. I don't know. Anybody calls him a fraud. They're just not seeing it. I don't know, whatever. I think South Park made a parody on him. It's like, man, they're just not. If there's a medium out there, that's John Edward.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, he's great.
What has he channeled or connected with that?
Just everybody's. There's those that crossed over. Just people's family members is what he connects to. He doesn't.
Okay.
It's that stuff. It's more personal.
Oh, he had a TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, now I
Yeah, it
remember.
was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's where I
remember
found out
now.
about him. Yeah.
I think I saw that when I was not awakened, and I kind of got scared and thought that the devil was going to get me if I watched it anymore. So I'm better now.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your hat on, your ears. Yeah, you're all set.
I'll watch them. Yeah, I have this is my Lyran look. If you guys don't know what a Lyran is, they're cat feline beings from Lyra, and they helped us during the prehistoric times fight the reptilians and the Anunnaki and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I've never, you know.
Obviously, they didn't win. I'm just kidding. They're still here.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, but anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how close we are to pigs. That's something that I don't really pay attention to. So I'm waiting for the pig collective, you know.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I do see humanoid pigs walking around. I channeled them in the past. And they can be quite brutal, but they're no different than we are.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of we're just you know, one big happy family here on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and those that one too. Well, there's a couple of things I want to mention while I'm here. I did feel an impression. I didn't mention this a while. You know, I get vibes here and there about like ones about Steve Jobs, or you know, I feel like he was, you know, assassinated or whatever you want to call. Because he didn't go. I think from my feeling is they're doing it earlier because he got sick early when he was doing. So I don't know what that was about, but definitely he didn't go with whatever the NSA. I imagine there's more going on than the NSA, but
like a government contract, right? He didn't go with the government contract, and
he didn't sell out, or and obviously these big companies like Microsoft and a lot of them sell it because they're all part of government. So anyway,
he kind of went out the same way Prince did because he was sick for a long time. But I understand through, I think, your channeling and others that, you know, it was kind of arranged that way, kind of like the way the doctors were treating him, or the treatments that they were giving him were actually killing them.
I don't get anything. I know Prince, he's really guarding around how he left.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it's weird because, I mean, he didn't say a lot, but you could tell with what he did say that it was, you know, it may have been fixed or something, you know.
Yeah, I see like a wall around all that. It's like, it's not important, but yeah, it does feel like eventually it will be known if he figured it out.
Like he was supposed to take a higher role in whatever he was doing, and somebody didn't want it or something. No.
Anyway, what else was there? I think that's about it. Okay, all right, Fidel. Yeah, Steve Jobs. I just felt that on its own. I never really looked into that. Like Robin Williams, I don't think Robin Williams was assassinated. I could be wrong. I don't think it was. I think he was ready to go.
Yeah, he wasn't like a happy camper.
Yeah, they did say he had a disease, but I think it was a lot of it. Just the mental part was just like, you know, already gone. So anyway, so there's a lot of people with diseases that are still here. So, but anyway, I should know. This thing was not going away. Anyway,
2016 and early 2017 is the year of the deaths of the celebrities, and
like December was the Illuminati kill list. So anyway.
It's a clearinghouse.
just going down the list, just like Santa Claus, just doing it a different way.
Who's been naughty or nice? Who's been naughty or nice?
Jeez, you guys did pay your dues, or you did pay your dues, and now you're getting your wish, or whatever it's going. Jeez,
it's gonna get you.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. See how this goes. I do feel the angels around. Let's see who comes through first. Might be an angel to bring in Fidel, but I do see Fidel wants to come through. It should be quite fast. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. It might be here 5 minutes. So anyway, all right. Much love, blessings, and here we go. Greetings. This is Michael.
Greetings, Archangel Michael. Welcome.
It is me and other entities of other angels. God is here. He is always here. But here his energy is much stronger as a protective energy for this one that wishes to visit. As Fidel has been going through much negative energies, but for you all to relax. Yes, there's a lot of negativity around you, but in your environment, he is absorbing much of it as he wishes to be back on your planet and living longer. I believe he wanted to actually live another 100 years, but he's still attached to your planet, but it's okay. We have allowed him to connect to your humans to heal those that need to be hurt by him, as many do feel much pain after his exit, I should say. But realize you can connect to him in spirit if you wish to do so. Realize that your earth does not have the belief system that allowing you to do this, as much have fear with it, which we quite understand. But you let that fear release and realize any of you can connect to Fidel if you wish to do so. There is a positive side right now. There is some negative, of course. But the negative of your world is what he's going through. So, I said enough. I'll let him come through. So just let you know.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. It'll be a positive connection. Yes, there will be some words of either way. Blessings, and here he comes.
Thank you very much, Archangel Mike.
I'm Fidel.
Welcome.
Thank you. For all those that are, I am with you. Those that wish to be connected to me, I am with you. I am not your spirit guide. I am your friend. And realize that we are one together. During my exit from your planet, I felt, yes, betrayed by your American government, but not just them. That was done publicly. There are others. To educate your human of my existence, I understand. I felt I was immortal, and I did not have that many Illuminati toxins in my body, other than cigar energies, as my soul kept me alive. Unlike your George Bush, that is a rotting corpse on your planet right now. As his soul is, he's going to have a more difficult time on your, as he crosses over than I did. You think I have demons, you might want to take a look at him more closely. And yes, as I am connected to this one, realize, of course, I don't sound exactly as I did with them. So much I can do here. Well, let you know, there is, yes, elitism in Cuba, Nazis from your Bush family, but not just there, as they wish to take over Cuba at an early time. In some ways they did through oil, through embargoes, through manipulations of the people to offer money. So they were there before I was. But I had to deal with them. I kicked many of them out. And of course that was what caused, yes, that was assassination attempts. I was cutting their money, and they did not like that. Why do you think they want to get rid of me? Was it about the communism? No, it was about the money. Of course, they would never say that. Seeing how you're Nazi agenda as well within your America. Yeah, the one that's in there now is not Nazi. He might have some racial issues, yes, but he's not a perfect man either. I believe he still cares for all races here. Trump. He's not perfect. He's as foul as any of us in closed doors, but makes it a little bit more public, which is fine. And your government, your media is trying to destroy him, but who cares about the other infant-minded people? But your shadow elite, who are a part of they made their presence in Cuba. Guantanamo Bay is another way of your shadow elites. They did run drugs through Cuba. They ran it through. This is your CIA, bringing their crimes to my neck of the woods, basically. But yes, it was not perfect, but what they were doing was far worse. Of course, I went against what they were. I went against their ways, so of course I'm going to be seen as a villain. I'm liberating from them. Your America has a stronghold, tried to hold it hostage. And of course, it was finally sold out, you can say, yes, to your America right now it is. But that was going to happen no matter what. We knew that was going to happen eventually, but not under my watch, as you can see. I see there are questions. What do you have for me?
Well, Fidel, you've actually discussed a lot of the questions that I had for you, but basically what I wanted to know is like your side of the story, as much as you want to share, because as you know, I don't have to tell you, but I'll tell my listeners that we are here in the United States, very censored. We're only told what it is that, you know, the media or whoever is up there wants us to know. So in the United States, Fidel Castro, the quote-unquote regime of Castro, is seen as this brutal dictator, evil person, but the lighter side is not seen, or at least a more objective point of view is not seen. And I have seen interviews where people have interviewed you through other mediums, and they've asked you pretty pointed questions like, why were you so brutal? Or, you know, why did you kill the people you did? But I know that there's some that were CIA operatives as well. So it's not as if, you know, or the people that you had in jail that they wanted freed were actually CIA operatives who were trying to cause troubles in the United States, just as if we would detain people who were doing things that were bad against the US. You still had to protect Cuba. I understand there's also 600 attempts on your life, or is that an exaggerated number?
More like 1,000. Even Russia tried to take me out. I know KGB was on my doorstep every day of the week. So I did have clones, not exactly clones, but lookalikes. So we're unsuccessful. And your America is, understand, we showed your America just as you were showing Cuba in a negative light. But we saw what your America was doing to us, which your Americans are brainwashed and see only one side of it. But it is true, they tried to murder me many times, but realize also there was payment exchanges also done to seem like that. That wasn't always the case. They needed a villain. I wasn't their villain, so they got upset by that. They wanted me to fight back, and in some ways I did, but it was mostly on paper. They were just minor threats, but your America was mostly the instigator. And a lot of this Cuban Missile Crisis a lot of it was KGB's wanting to attack America. It wasn't. It's funny how your news can only handle so much. And that is ran by your government, most of it, or your shadow elites, I should say. And it is orchestrated quite well until recently, which is a laughing matter right now. It is all a laughing matter, all of it. As you've been hoodwinked, no different than your North Korea. that your Americans are more brainwashed than they are. But they are too ignorant to realize that because they are easily paid off. Your Americans are paid off. As long as they have enough money to buy their cars, there's a lot of ways they pay off. That way they just look the other way. So in some ways, your America has been bought off in certain ways through your trinkets. But the KGB is, yes, they played a role in the Cuban Missile Crisis as a war with America, to blame Cuba for it, because they wanted Cuba for themselves. Russia wanted it at one time. And both America wanted it. But yes, it was not easy to be me. I had plenty of bunkers underground. They couldn't know where they could find me. I knew how to lie my way, even through my own staff. Only a few knew who I was, as everyone else would rob me. Yes, many have sold me out, but I knew who it was. I wasn't that like your Saddam, who doesn't know what he is doing. He was just a fool. Either way, I was not perfect, but yes, this was mostly CIA. A lot of it was KGB, though. And a lot of it was officers that turned against me. So I have no choice. Not to say I was perfect. I don't know.
What would you like to say to people who fled Cuba after the revolution, and to the, I guess, the people who petitioned the government to keep the embargo going?
Some of those were CIA. Some of that was just propaganda to get them out of the country, which is fine. Of course, the travel wasn't easy. Not to say I was the easiest on the people, but the government surrounding did not make it easy for any of us. We all had to starve a little bit, you can say. Of course, I did not starve as much as others did. But it was not an easy existence for any of us. But those that wanted to leave, they've been brainwashed by the American way to be a fat slob and to think they know everything. And that was very attractive to many of them, as you can see. Not to say I was much different. I had my own dictatorship, you could say, and those wanted their own dictatorship. As you can say, many Americans are dictators in their own right, in their little versions of it, dictating their animals, their family, especially the way some of them treat their families as a little dictatorship, is this ruling each other. But anyway, no one's perfect. We all have our flaws, as we can see. We've all been brainwashed by your Illuminati well into the wrong direction as for health and positive thinking, which I did not have much of, but I did survive. I am not like your George Bush, who is connected to a operating table right now and being fed pills by your elite system. But his DNA is being altered, it seems, daily from what I'm seeing right now.
And what is the purpose of that? Just to kind of keep him going?
Oh, he has agendas, so that walking corpse is still working. He's doing mind manipulations on certain individuals. I understand he's well connected. Why would they let him go? He's still a bargaining chip. He has a lot on a lot of people also. So if he goes, that knowledge goes with him. Of course, he can't remember quite, but he still has a lot of connections. He is like a good luck charm also. Some are betting on how long he's going to live. That's what's going on. You'd be surprised. But a lot of them want to keep him alive because he does connect to higher energies that your human is not quite ready on. Yes, your elites are very supernatural. You're very magician is a word for it, that your Americans are not easily taking up on that. As you connect to your power, you will see how they operate. I saw how they operated. It made me sick. Human trafficking going through Cuba, around it, through it. I want no part in that. I don't know. That's America, not me. I don't do things like that. I'm not perfect. Of course, we get the blame for some of it. Understand it made it difficult for them to do their trafficking, so they made us look even worse. They did whatever they could to make us look bad because we weren't going according to their agenda. They wanted us no different than Mexico, just a drug cartel. And in some ways it was. It was not perfect. In some ways it was, but they wanted us just like you're Mexico, just a nothing safe for anyone, basically. You're George, the younger Bush, the George Bush, the one that was president, the number 2. He was well trained by the father, a robot, you can say, in some regard, a tool for them to play with. He was a puppet for theirs. And as simple as then, it did not matter. They needed him to be stupid so they can pull out their 9/11s. They needed someone there with no confidence whatsoever. Your Cheney, yes, there was more than just your Cheney. That wasn't Cheney is part of your dark cabal. In some regard, his soul has been sold to the darkness for a long time. You don't need me to tell you that. But he was protecting Deepend, the Bush, he was there to keep him in line, basically, as they did their operations, as you can tell. That was pretty obvious. Why? How would someone like that? That's stupid to get into office. Obama had there were some good things about him, but then after a while, I saw he was just no different than any other ones, sometimes worse. He was controlled in a different way. He was a scientific project, from what I saw. An incubate is just created by the elites is a sun god. And many did worship him like a sun god, and they still do. This is no different than your Egypt, as they worship what they remember. And many of them are part of Egyptian history. So this is no different. This is the same sick. So when you go against all that, they're going to get angry. So when your Trump that's in there, he's going against everything of the sun god. So they're going to rip him to shreds, as they are attempting to do, but he's well protected. He's well protected, and what is going on is that the elites, the dark ones, feel like they can, of course, not to say he's perfect. He's not some angel from heaven here to just give everyone angel wings. But he is not part of the dark cabal. Yes, there might be some things where they pull his strings where he has to force to do things that they want him to do. But he's not going by their agenda. He's part of a different agenda altogether. He's not part of the elite bloodline. That's true. He is part of a transition. A transition of out with the old and with the new. That is correct. So not to say it's perfect, but the old guard is not happy about that. So they want to call him the same as your old guard. He is not the same at all. He is a very flawed person, but who isn't? It's just his flaws are put on billboards. So it's any one of you out there, the same thing can happen. If you're given money, you would be treated the same. You'd be the same thing. So going after him, but either way, he was part of an agenda to change a government. We do see in a six months radius, we do see a grand transition coming in of governmental change, where many are going to be scratching their heads saying, is this really happening? They're already doing that. The dark cabal is right now trying to destroy him mentally, you can say, or publicly, like a public execution through PR mostly. But they do realize he has he has this purpose, and they realize also they can run the minds of many, so they're using it against him. But either way, much shifting is going to happen. A renaissance is upon you. A global renaissance is not an easy one, as many will just start to think differently and be differently. You can say it's a spiritual awareness, but whatever you want to call it, it is a different way of looking at things. That is what's coming into your environment. This different. You can call it your angels, your aliens, but it's going to be your old selves are going to be renewed. And he is part of this. Realize you're all part of it. He's just part of it. He's just doing the government version of it. You're doing the people version of it. So you're already doing it. It's just he's changing with you. That's all. Some might say, oh, this is all negative, whatever. I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say. It's government. It's all just dirty anyway. He's had it way too easy in many. I mean, he needs a soul. He needs to show he has purpose in this world. Being daddy's little rich kid isn't. He needed this. Being dad's rich kid wasn't enough. He needed to prove himself. That's what he's doing here. He's given a chance to do it. I know I'm talking on for. If you have a question.
No, I thank you. I really appreciate all the information and the insight you're sharing with us. And I think also for Donald Trump, I'm seeing like the same thing as far as how he's going to impact our society and the world. And I think that when our leaders change, it'll assist in a greater shift amongst many, at least for those who are willing to see and appreciate those changes outside of the media, and those who turn off their TVs and their radios and don't pay attention to what the fake news tells us. Well, according to them, this is fake news, but whatever. We know the truth. But what do you think that this all means for Cuba?
In some ways, it's going down the rat hole. It's becoming Americanized, so it's going to be. It has some good. People can have more freedoms than they did when I was there. Mm-hmm. So they get to get fatter and whatever. Maybe more educated, maybe. It's up to them.
I understand a lot of people went to Cuba to study at the universities and aeronautics and things like that.
Yes.
I think people had better healthcare in Cuba than us. A lot of preventive stuff that people don't know about or appreciate. Of course, they'd never know about it. Yeah.
So it's going to get less influential. In some cases, not all. Those will still say, but they will be diluted in some ways. But that was going to happen no matter what. That wasn't going to last forever. But we'll move to other places. But I do see your leaders coming together, which will piss off a lot of people. Russia is one place, but there are others. I do see many of your leaders becoming more connected in a positive way. This is going to take time. And, of course, make those that have been brainwashed to hate each other understand, yes, there's a lot of darkness going on at this time. So your America has to protect itself. I understand that. But a lot of them will be shaking hands shortly when the time is right. There'll be outrage. But this is part of your global agenda, but a global agenda, it's already a global government. I don't care what your plan says.
Yeah, if everybody in the world's concerned about who's the U.S. president more than their own.
It's not seen. It's not seen, but it's already a global cabal. So they can call it's not a global. It's publicly, it's not seen as that, but in shadow places, it is very much a global connection. And they're trying to make peace as the new agendas come in, as the darkness is eroding finally. But your people are not ready to let go of it. But your leaders aren't either. Your people are part of some murder, violence, are being heavily manipulated. And that will be addressed of the manipulations eventually. That's has to do with your global awakening of spirit. And it's coming. As much as you want to bang on your wall and say it's not going to happen, it will. Where do you think I am? Either way, I must be going now.
Well, thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you speaking with us today, and hopefully we'll get to talk soon.
Yes. Blessings to you.
Blessings to you. Thank you for being here.
And you do have cigars in heaven, so
awesome.
I'm working towards that.
And rum.
I'm more into cigars right now. I haven't got to that yet.
Okay. Thank you, Fidel.
Yes. Greetings to you. This is the Prime Creator. Much love.
Greetings, Prime Creator. Welcome to Off the Deep End.
I'm here to be a part of this fake news.
Yes.
Many do not believe I exist. So it must not be real, so that's fine. Many do not believe in my existence. There's many realities that believe you do not exist also, just to let you know, humans. Just to think you're the only ones in the universe. You might want to rethink that. As many are not ready to connect with that, well, you're missing out on all the fun. That's all I have to say. But if you don't want to connect, that is fine. We'll enjoy ourselves. But as for my connection here, yes, there is many of your Fidel, many on your planet that have been done worse things than he does. Guess he's lived a longer life and had more power than many, but still so many on your planet have had somewhere energies at least influence on others that have not been publicly on the stage. Yes, CIA, things of that sort have done more darkness on your planet that will most likely never see the day of light of what they have done. Just to give you an idea. I already also give you an update that we do see your ISIS clearing itself out eventually, as the truth of it will come through. It already has to a certain degree, but more truth will be coming through. As your Earth will find a new boogeyman, we do see that happening. Unfortunately, your cabal is not done playing with your planet. So you do see other forces coming about, unfortunately, but that is part of your Earth. That is part of your Earth's agenda. And unfortunately, it's nothing to quite worry about, but yes, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to. It'll be in sheep's clothing, let's put it that way. That's all we can say at this time. But of course, you can prevent this, but also heal the Earth. With ISIS, you can send your energy, positive energies to them that they will find peace within themselves. If they are brainwashed, no different than your human, your average human. Of course, in a different way, in a more negative way, unfortunately. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. You mentioned that our future boogeyman will be in sheep's clothing. Do you see that these entities will, not entities, but people will, or organizations will be like spiritualists, kind of like?
Some of them, yes.
Yes. And then they'll just blame it on, I guess, mediumship and the devil, I guess, getting a hold of them, or being misled somehow, you know?
some of it will be your cabal is moving in a different direction what they normally do. That's all I can go into fully because it's not brought into your vibrations. But you can put your thoughts into that. It is a combination of different things. You can call it more like a banker who seems friendly. Of course, they do a lot of things that your human seems to look the other way, which is unfortunate. Those of high power, of course, are causing much of your wars on your planet that has not been registered in your human consciousness. But once you connect with that, you can see it's mostly done with a pen. Wars are started with a pen. As for signatures, handshakes, but mostly signatures, that way they have it written down. A lot of it, yes, is a cabal type of ceremony. ISIS is a ceremony. Your America is a ceremony. 9/11 was a ceremony. All these things that happen on the planet are ceremonies of your cabal energies. The more you connect with it, the more you can heal it and let them know that you're not afraid of them, but also you're not throwing hate on them either. It will help your humanity grow and become more together. Ignoring it, being angry about it does not solve anything, as you can see. It is understandable why you have anger, of course. Especially the human trafficking is done on your planet as yes, what's happening with children also, but realize these children are choosing this, but only because your Earth's vibration is they're bringing it about. You can always heal that. They want to be part of your humanity, but also to give you an insight into it so you can heal it eventually. As the choices of many some time ago, it's been part of your planet for forever, unfortunately. It's another way of lowering your vibration. If your children's vibration are low, your planet's vibration as well. This is why they do human trafficking. It has purpose, but a lot of it's just to lower your Earth's vibration. So, and it's all done by design. They know exactly what places to do it. Certain places are sacred places, unfortunately. It's all a spiritual connection here. And for your human to realize that, it does help your Earth, humanity to heal. And those that are unaware of all this and wish to be seduced by your cabal, which is understandable. Some of their food's good, some of it. Music is somewhat okay, depending on your taste. To realize you're being served your cabal sandwich, you can say. To release from it is not easy because seductions are very seductive, as you can tell, especially the way one acts and tries to seduce others, and a lot of that's also a cabal type of ceremony. As your humans are replicating what they see on television and music, it is part of the cabal type of ceremonies that are going on in the planet.
Yes, for a while now, I've been very reluctant to listen to music because I could understand and see what they're doing. Either they're trying to worsen people's morals. There's teenagers singing about getting high, so to get somebody off of their mind, and all of the Illuminati symbology. They intend to dumb down society through making money and superficiality, and young women like giving it away earlier, and glorifying these individuals with no talent. For example, the Kardashians, the younger siblings turning into like prostitutes pretty much, and to black magic, and
for money.
Oh my gosh, it just goes on. Yes, for money. And then people are just worshiping them, not knowing, not understanding the full scope of what's going on. Our halftime shows are like obvious Illuminati examples,
Yes, worshiping your celebrities is no different than worshiping the gods of your past. It is a new god, basically, and there are celebrities instead. But they still have the symbolism, as you can tell. They tell you. So it's no different. And your humans are just laughing that off, saying, oh, but this is so much different. It is so much the same.
Yeah.
So for your human to eventually awaken from that, it is very difficult to do so. They didn't realize that I am channeling through this one is very hard for them to. But if you had one of your rock stars saying that they are doing it, then that would be a different story. They'll be all like, wow, you can really do this. It has to be publicized in a way that is acceptable by your human, but definitely if you have your Lady Gaga, whatever channeling, Martha Stewart, or whoever it might be, then it'll become more accepted in your society. Of course, it'll be spin greatly, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, because the problem is our society through religion is taught not to connect with anything.
Yes.
Just God through religion.
Religion and objects.
And objects, and that's it. And if you connect spiritually, then you're accessing something that's bad or negative.
Exactly.
However, the elitists themselves, they go to fortune tellers they get their astrological chart done, and so does the Pope, and and they all access channelers too, I'm sure. So everything that they tell you not to do, to don't connect to yourself and know your full power, they do it. And they're laughing at you for
all of this. Tarot cards, all of this, they're doing all of it. And of course, in your media, calling it bad and negative, and it doesn't exist. Because none of it's real. That way they can keep their power. That way it's a secret. It is showing that you do not have these gifts. And even those that claim to have these gifts, that do have the gifts, are demeaned greatly. Your earth human has been swindled for such a long time. It has been a great story, I have to admit. It's been a rough one for many, but it has been fascinating to see humanity evolve. Unfortunately, my suffering has been brought about it, but that is what the human wanted to experience. Now I realize you're coming out of this and becoming more of a spiritual teacher of your own. You could call it whatever you want. Maybe spiritualism is another bad word, which is fine. We'll call it whatever you want. Connecting to the stars, to the angels, to the energy that you are. You're connecting to your abilities. Some wish to fly. I see no reason to stop that. Continue that. Eventually you will. And you'll be levitating. You're going into that direction now. It just takes time. There's so much holding your society down because of the belief systems. You can call it a dumpster in some regard, but it is only because of the negativity that is within it. The human is good. It's just the thoughts that are brought in are lower vibration.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be cleared.
Yes. Yeah, we'll learn when the time is right. It takes time for a human to get used to something new. Your Atlantean energies are coming through more clearly for some of you as you allow it to come through. There's much more in your Atlantis, but Atlantis is a good place to start. There's many places before Atlantis, but we'll just leave it there for right now. If you wish to go further than that,
to make it less confusing.
Yes. Lemuria is a good one. Atlantis is excellent. There are more, but Oceania, if you want to go either way, you're more than welcome to continue that voyage. But to have these places for you to connect, realize your guides are all connected to your ancient places. You're all, you can say, being rebooted differently depending on what you want in your environment. Many are not ready to have this in their environment, which is fine. But many of you that are going to be opening up more will know more about the Earth's history over time, and healing oneself from the past is much needed from your current timelines and your other timelines. But also you will start to see future versions of yourself also, because you're working up to a future version of you to go through an Earth lifetime that's very difficult, to gain knowledge, to take it somewhere else, to share it. You say, I'm glad I had that Earth lifetime. But of course, it was, yes, it's come called hell to go through, but was well worth it. Difficult to see it here. Those that wish to go into suicide, you're being tested greatly. Understand your belief systems. Realize when you feel the suicide urge, which many do, is to find somebody that is positive to be around. It's hard to find the right vibration to be around because the manipulations are all powerful around you. Some are dark aliens using dark entities against you. And it's difficult for you to clear that. Is to be around people that you feel very loving, close to, and find a way out of that. Some stay in it, but you can find a way out. It's all a mental game that they put on you to test you. It's all a test. And if you give in, you fail the test. Then you get connected to a darker world, and it's very difficult to get out of there once you're in there. If you commit suicide, now understand health is a different story. Health is a whole nother story. But for those that use health as a reason for suicide, it's not always health that's the cause of it. They use it as a reason, but usually we understand, we know. But when you get connected to the lower realms, it's very difficult to leave. You think this world is difficult, that one's far worse. Mm-hmm. It's everything that you're afraid of will be around you. Everything that terrifies you. Mm-hmm. Once you know that suicide seems like more like not a good idea, they don't tell you that before you go into it. Realize they will play with your fears, everything. It will be a nightmare that will never end. Eventually it will, but it will take a long time for it. It'll be like eternity.
I'm glad that you're bringing this up, Prime Creator, because there's been a lot in the media about promoting suicide if you're sick. And they give examples of people who are ill and, just don't want to, I guess, put their family through problems and, I guess, monetary hardships. And, so they decide to voluntarily take their life. And I just noticed that some of these are being very heavily promoted to get people, I think, to sway people's thought process to committing suicide when there are many other options, to healing besides the typical like medical establishment, if we're going that way. And that's just one example. There's for example, I think even there's an androgynous, an energy that wants people to be androgynous, I think, or cut themselves. Like, for example, Angelina Jolie, I guess she took a test that said she'd be 80% likely to get breast cancer. Well, she didn't have any breast cancer. And then she said that she was going to cut off her breasts and I guess get an implant and get this videotape because she just did not want to get breast cancer. And so what that did was she was kind of planting the seeds for women to think about doing the same thing when this breast cancer has not manifested. A lot of people don't know even how we get some cancers. Some say it's like an energetic manifestation. Some say it's a, food related, many different issues,
It's many different things. For example, as for suicide, such as your Ernest Hemingway, he had a electric shock therapy to his mind. He had a plane accident. And he could not function anymore in your world at all. His mind was history. And he did commit suicide, but that was to get him off this world because his function was, he could not even live, could not even do anything anymore. That's different. And those that just are depressed about their existence, they feel like they have no future here because their health is declining. That is because they gave up. If you give up, does not mean you have an easy ticket to the other side. Far from it. You usually go into a lower dimensional realm. What's what happens. You do not go to the other side. You get near it, but understand what you have to go through to get to it is not easy. So, and those that are assistant suicides realize even you receive karma for that. Not always. There are some cases, it's a case by case. Some do need to go. As for some that are very much a vegetable on the on the operating table, that's a different story. When the family has to let one go, that's another story. Mm-hmm. There are Dr. Kevorkian, where those say yes, feeling unhealthy, but many of them gave up, basically. Mm-hmm. There are cases where medical is a little bit too helping, as it keeps you alive too long when your body functions are gone and you're just sitting there. That's a different story. And it was difficult for some to connect to that. But if you're just feeling depressed about your life and it's time to go, realize there's much consequence there. And as for health, yes, it's a major consequences. That is a trick that's being done right now as for health. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, but many are feeling that is the only way. But yes, that is unfortunate, but it is their choice. This is a test. Everything's a test here. But either way, it is, trust me, they learned their lesson after they've done their deeds.
I understand that there's a lot of energy healing techniques that could help heal people of these issues. Mm-hmm. But part of it is what you said, it's people who don't give up, or people who believe they can be healed.
Exactly. It's your belief system. A lot has to do with your belief system. Mm-hmm. Your belief system is like, you have no hope. Mm-hmm. That is your belief. That is your understand. Everyone's life somewhere is going to have a great challenge. Some do plastic surgery where they can't recognize themselves anymore and want to commit suicide. Realize that. So, of course, there's many with much depression, which is quite understandable. Severe depression, mm-hmm. There's different types. Mm-hmm. Understand it's a case by case situation there. But realize when you're giving up completely. I know some might feel uncomfortable with all this because they'll see it in a different way. But either way. Mm-hmm. Anyway. That's all I have the energy for at this moment. Is there anything else before I leave?
Yes, actually. I hate it when I forget what I'm going to ask.
That was your soul telling yourself that was not important.
Okay.
That was yourself taking that memory out of your... It was you. Everyone does this. They have a thought. It's like, I changed my mind. So your consciousness moved it to another time.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me know that. Probably it's wherever my mail is right now that never gets here.
Most likely, yes.
So, well... I guess my last question for you is if you could just give the human collective mm-hmm. any recommendations on how to, I guess, live through this transitional type period that we're going through right now.
It's not easy for anyone. Please do not. Everyone's going through some sort of headache. It is to march on, continue on, connect, have goals, love yourself, respect yourself, especially when you're in a relationship you shouldn't be in. Respect yourself and eject from that when the time is right, of course. And our message for families have a lot of healing to do on this world, as from our perspective. As for getting along is very difficult for many, which is quite understandable. But realize when more do this, it heals our differences. The world does. A light emerges. Not to say there's not a light now, it's just a little bit dim when there's stress and negativity. Because understand a family is a beam of light, and as you all connect, more light. Yes, it is. Especially connecting to aliens and spirits, and the family does not want to hear about it. That makes one want to disconnect from family, which is understandable. But eventually the time will come when the spiritual coming out will eventually be heard. When the time is right. It's not always ready. But it's transition just to coast on. Just continue on what feels right for you, basically. I must be going. Blessings.
Blessings to you, Prime Creator.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Greetings.
Greetings, Ivan. Welcome back.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I'm buzzing right now.
How do you feel when the Prime Creator comes through you?
Oh, that's always good. Usually he's going to try to be a jokester, but sometimes he has to talk about important stuff.
Serious things.
Usually when just come in and screw around, which is nothing. I don't have a problem with that, but sometimes he needs to talk about important things. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, he definitely helped us out, giving us some good perspectives.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. This is very fragile subject. I did hear the end of that. I did feel Castro's energy. I did pick up stuff here and there. But with the Prime Career, that was an understanding. He brings this stuff up because it's not all the time, but sometimes it needs to be heard. So.
Yeah, I think it's really important when he's talking about something delicate like suicide.
Yeah.
In the spiritual community, I know that there's some that believe that there's no karma or anything attached to suicide, and they're actually not promoting it, but just I guess discussing it in a way that it's light. Like, for example, I think that there's a young lady, her name is Teal Swan. She's got a lot of followers, and she was actually had a topic about suicide, and she was joking that she told somebody to do that, and then she was laughing that he actually committed suicide. And I'm like,
yeah, it's all a bit twisted. That's not right.
Yeah, she's got a big following, so
not all the gears are oiled there, it seems.
Yeah.
I do get attacks here and there, and I don't mention these all the time, but it could be from, I want to mention another thing, but like from the reptilians, usually it's from them, and the Greys, I love the Greys, I love the reptilians, but there's a gangster version of them out there, and they did attack me. This was a while back, not that long ago, a couple months before I got this. they did put like energy around me, like they put like a web around you. It's like once you commit suicide, stuff like that. They did that to me recently. I was attacked. And it was like, don't you want to die or something like that? It was like, I don't know what it is. It's like no. It's like why am I feeling like this? It's dumb.
I think that they've done that to me before, where it's like it's not even you.
It's
just like and they said, don't you want to die?
Yeah, it's faking.
Get it over with.
It's faking. It's making you think it's you. It's not. So eventually that went away. I don't know. It's like an attack. Some attacks you just gotta live through it. But some people do follow that and then go, just like that. They just feel and they're gone. So just to let people know, that's an attack. It's just testing you. Yeah. And the same thing goes for violence too. I think also they do the same thing. Like, don't you want to hit that person or whatever? It's like, jeez. And so people follow it.
Maybe. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, they put it around you.
Sure.
It's like a web they put around you, and you like push it on you. It's like, isn't this what you want? It's like it's not fun. I imagine everybody's been through it. And another thing, as I've been sick, I mean, from what I feel like, like the reptilians are like manipulating us and other beings, not just them. From what I'm feeling is like the Syrians are involved with health. Our drug system, a legal version, to get us all drugged up. I think the Syrians they quietly do it. It's so subtle. I just picked up on it recently, and they're behind it. They just
so we have to be careful that like whatever energy we're connecting to, that we make sure that it's a positive, benevolent entity or whatever. Protect yourself, because a lot of people just associate certain ET races with negative and positive, and and there's a little bit of both on either side.
Yeah. Well, like with I'm feeling with the Syrians, they manipulate the hospitals, and you go with doctors. I think they're involved with that they're so slick about it. They're so quiet about it. They're part of our, to drug us up, basically. So it's interesting how they, I might get an attack from that now after mentioning it. But anyway.
Or the healthcare hitmen, were the ones that go after the natural practitioners and the doctors who are not keeping people sick and things like that, and over prescribing the wrong medicines and things.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
It's an interesting world we live in.
All right, you want to?
Well,
I'm done for the night. I can't do anymore.
Okay, Ivan. Thank you for being on our show again. Hey, you guys can find Ivan on his website, ivanteller.com, and you can subscribe to his bi-weekly webinar. It's $10 a month. You can also download his apps on Apple and Android. The app is obviously Ivan Teller, and you can find all kinds of YouTube videos where he's channeling all kinds of beings. And you can also find this interview on YouTube as well. Thank you for listening to our show. Thank you for being here, Ivan.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Good night.